Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the Silent Academy. We'll kick this thing off. I am your host, Mr. West. I am Mr. West on social media. I am Mr. West on Instagram, Twitter, West Emoji on Facebook. So you tap in. I am the founder of the Silent Academy. Our goal is to be able to help families save their home from foreclosure, whether it's developing a plan to get caught up on their payments or navigating the process of selling their property to avoid that foreclosure impact on their credit. So we're back with another episode of the Silent Conversations podcast. Silent Conversations with Mr. West. It's been a long time, but we back. We back like we never left. You know, on this journey that we've been on, I would say the journey that I've been on, there's been a lot of changes, a lot of things that I've been able to notice about myself that now that I see them, I have to actually work on it and improving them. You know, a lot of times we get results and we ignore what's not working because the results of what is working may be so overt and so obvious that it's hard to focus on what you need to improve on because it's working. If it's working, why stop? You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you tapping in. Right now, we live on Instagram, we live on YouTube, we live on Facebook. Make sure you tap in before you tap out. I am Mr. West. This is Silent Conversations with Mr. West. We tapping in today. You feel what I'm saying? But yes, the journey is I don't want to put this in the wrong words. So it's like for me, the journey is everlasting. You see what I'm saying? We always have to improve ourselves. I'm always looking for opportunities to grow. Let me make this a little bit bigger. There we go. I'm always looking for opportunities to grow. But one thing that I've been lacking in is documenting this process. So I don't want it ever to feel like or seem as if I'm any better than you. Or that whatever you have going on is too difficult or unsurmountable that you can't move past it, because we've all gone through different things. We've all been through adversity. We've all been through crisis. We can go through that crisis and come out the other end with confidence. But part of being able to get confident through that crisis is being able to share your story so that other people can be inspired, so that you can share those lessons that you learn so other people don't have to bump their head the same way. You can get a lot of inspiration, a lot of joy from just speaking your truth. And that's one thing that I want to do more of, and that I need to do more of. You know what I mean? That's a fact. Some people are still in a crisis. And that's the part where you have a bit of survivor's remorse a little bit when you do come out of adversity, when you do triumph over obstacles, when you are able to move past setbacks and be able to show up and still be resilient throughout all of those. There's a bit of remorse that comes because you see other people who may not have it all figured out. And you want to give so much of your time, you want to give so much of your resources, but really the best thing that you can give would be your example. The best thing that you can give would be your testimony. The best thing that you can give is showing how you walk down your path and providing those lessons so that they can see that there's light on the other end of that tunnel. I know when I go through something, I don't think about all the other people that's went through something first. That's not my first mind. My first mind is not thinking about how this isn't exclusive to how this isn't exclusive to me, and that other people are going through just as worse, if not worse, situations. I think about how I'm affected first before I start to think and get out of my own feelings and be able to say, okay, hold on, this ain't the first trial, this ain't the first crisis. You're not the only one that's having a setback. But part of growing is sharing that growth and being able to expose the not so good side of yourself in order to be able to show that there's work being done. There's always work being done. And sometimes social media Sometimes Instagram, the highlight reels of others can make you feel as if your progress isn't real progress. That's not true. 1% better every day is 365% better in a year. 1%. What does 1% better look like to you? What does 1% better look like to me? It's all different, but we're all progressing. We know that comparison is the thief of all joy. But we spend a lot of our time looking at the lives of others and not looking at those lives for inspiration, not looking at these lives to be able to understand what we can learn, the lessons that we can get from their lives, from their mistakes, from their successes. We're looking at these things, you're looking at these highlight reels and comparing it to our real life. And then we get discouraged when we don't get progress, when we don't see the same progress, but we don't have the results happening as fast as other people are portraying that it's showing up. So that's why I feel like it's a need for me to get back talking on this podcast, sharing my story. For one, it helps with being able to see my progress, being able to talk about it, being able to talk through certain problems that I had in the past and being able to say how I went through them. That gives me power. That gives me a sense of resilience to know that it's possible. I'm literally undefeated when it comes to setbacks. I know in the moment it feels like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it through this, but we undefeated when it comes to setbacks. If you still alive, you undefeated when it comes to obstacles. You undefeated when it comes to being presented with adversity. But sometimes we get stuck in the moment and realize that maybe this one is going to be the one that we're not going to make it through. That's when that doubt comes in. That's when that self-sabotage comes in. But we don't have to. We don't have to believe that this is it. We can reflect on what it is that's worked in the past. But that's not always easy. So it's best for me to be able to talk about my progress every day. It's best for me to be able to share my progress, and then be able to record it for myself so I can look back and say, look how far you came. Even before I started this live, like, man, I need to write some notes to figure out what I'm going to talk about. That's what I would have done before, but I got so much that I want to share with you all and be able to keep y'all up to date that it was like I started writing some notes and I'm like, I don't need any notes. I know what I'm gonna talk about. I know exactly what I'm gonna talk about. And I want to talk about that journey. I want to talk about this journey that I'm on. I want to talk about that journey that you're on. I want to talk about being able to appreciate the journey, because it's not easy. It's not meant to be easy, but it's worth it. It's challenging, but it's going to build your character. There's going to be obstacles, there's going to be setbacks, but there's also going to be blessings. There're going to be successes. Are we willing to go through the pain in order to get to the pleasure? Are we willing to set aside our emotions in order to deal with the logic and reason and take action? That's what it comes down to. I know for me, I've stood in my own way for so long that it's uncomfortable to take initiative for myself. It's easy to take initiative for everybody else. It's easy to take on responsibilities for everybody else. But when it comes to myself, there's this nervousness, there's this timidity. The unknown begins to seem intimidating. But then I have to think, I'm like, the unknown is intimidating, but everything that I've done started off as the unknown. Every skill set that I have, I started off without the skill set. I earned that. I learned that. So not trying to be perfect all the time, we forget that the process is what makes us perfect. Perfect is not a destination, it's a process. You go through a perfection process. How do you perfect your craft? Your craft isn't perfect, you perfect it, meaning that you constantly work at it until it becomes natural. When I look at that word perfection, I think about flowers, I think of plants, animals. These things are perfect. They are fulfilling their purpose. That makes them perfect. They were perfectly made. But the only time that we act out of ourselves, the only times that we feel like we're imperfect, that we fall short, is when we're not fulfilling our purpose. We're not going back to our nature. This is why environment is so important. I was on Instagram. I think I might have reposted it yesterday on Instagram, just speaking on the fact that what Kanye said. He said, if you are around individuals who don't act like you are who you are, you'll forget who you are. I was that person. You can reach a point of being so selfless that you even forget who yourself is. So that even when you begin to do things that resemble who you are, it feels uncomfortable being yourself. It's uncomfortable being yourself. That's almost like being in prison in your own body. Being in prison in your own body. That was me. And I say that was me because I don't attach myself to that thinking anymore. I say that was me because I no longer will allow myself to continue to imprison myself in my lack. I free myself into abundance. So, like I said, it's been a while since I dropped the episode of the Silent Conversations. So I got a lot to update you on. The 3 P's, the keys to having better days, is out. We've been selling books. If you're tapping in right now and you have a copy of the 3 P's and you read it, make sure that you add in on the comments. Make sure that you leave a review. Let me know what you think. How has it helped you? Even if it hasn't helped you, let me know if it hasn't helped you so that we can improve on it. Because my goal is to be able to help 1,000 people be able to look at their day from a better outlook. Be able to take a bad day and make it good. Take a good day and make it better. There are no such things as bad days, only bad moments that we focus on. So the question becomes, are you really having a bad day? Are you allowing your emotions to keep you in that bad moment, not finding a solution to your problems? Are you leaning on your excuses and not your abilities? Are you focused on your expectations and not living up to the standard that you set for yourself? Are you limiting your abilities and just giving yourself more excuses? These are questions you have to ask yourself. I know I ask myself all the time. I be saying, like, why aren't you taking initiative? What is holding you back from walking in your purpose? The perceptions of others. What other people gonna think? The opinions of others. Those opinions don't matter. Because I have to think about it. Those people with those opinions that I'm so afraid of, what have they accomplished? What have they done that I need to be worried about their opinion? What have they contributed to this vision that makes me want to understand why their opinion is so valid? Why am I concerned with what they think when they don't think about anything that is dealing with themselves? What are they building for themselves that their opinion on what you're building for yourself is valid? The second part of that is, do you believe in your greatness? Because it's one thing to ignore the naysayers. It's one thing to ignore the lack of support. It's one thing to ignore those who have something to say every time that you're doing something to improve yourself. But it's another whole situation with those thoughts you have in your own mind about what you believe about what you do. Because if you don't believe it, why would anyone else do it? If you're not confident about it, why would anyone else be confident about it? Man, when I look back, it takes you being humbled. It takes you having to really zoom out and look at yourself and be able to say, man, I've done a lot in life, but I've never taken any time to celebrate it or appreciate it, or just sit back and just smile and say, you know what, you did a great job. I don't spend a lot of time doing that. Then I wonder why I get burnt out. Then I wonder why I don't feel so inspired every day. It's because I'm not actually in the moment and appreciating the moment, I'm just looking at it like, let's get it done. Let's just get it done, move on to the next task. But there's never a moment of celebrating those wins. There's never a moment of being able to appreciate the progress that you've made, being able to look to see, this is where I was, this is where I am. Look how far I've came. That's just what's the next thing to get done. I just need more. I got more ambition. I got more goals I need to accomplish. But when are you going to actually be happy with the progress that you made thus far? You know what? I sometimes attribute that to, don't want to be complacent. You don't want to be stagnant. You don't want to be too full of yourself. So I'm like, okay, I can't keep dwelling on this win. I need to give me another one. But there's a balance that go along with that. There's a give and take. Yeah, every win that you get, you need to celebrate it. You need to appreciate it. But you also don't want to get content. So you need to still give yourself time to appreciate that moment. Give yourself time to really realize what it is that you've accomplished. Give yourself the time to be able to say, okay, this is what we've done. We said we was going to set out to accomplish this. We did it. Salute to you. Before we pick up and go to the next thing, let's actually say, you know what? We did great. What did we learn? What did we learn in this situation? What did we get out of the situation? How can we teach someone else who's going through something similar, or who will go through something similar, so that they can be able to get to that success or that accomplishment that much faster? What is the point of seeing other individuals accomplish great things if you have to go through the exact same trials that they went through, knowing that there was an easier way to get through it? Just like how Jay-Z said, Jay did that so you ain't have to go through that. You know what I mean? He said Hov did that so you ain't have to go through that. You feel what I'm saying? So he gonna tell you about what it is you need to look out for so that you can get to that destination a lot faster. The first one over the hill gets hit with all the arrows. Why would you go over the hill not knowing that if you go over the hill you're gonna hit with the arrows? Why would you go do it again just because you've seen the next person do it? Let's learn from that person, and then let's make the right decisions for ourselves. It's okay to take inspiration, but it's another thing to be foolish. Blind leading the blind. But yeah. So with that being said, this journey has been great. I've literally taken myself out of environments. I put myself in new environments, had to uproot. Some things you have to cut off abruptly. Other things you can wean yourself off. But when it comes to the environments that we're in, that was something that I needed to do abruptly. You know, we building something over here. I kind of told y'all this in earlier episodes that this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning, and it's up to me to be able to show up and show y'all that it's possible. You know, I done made some big decisions in my life recently. Big decisions. We talking last month, I walked away from the highest salary I've ever made in my life. I walked away from it. You might be saying, Wes, why you do that? Sometimes I ask myself why I did it. Sometimes I ask myself, why did I walk away from that money? It was easy money, yes. But I'm on a path of purpose work. I'm on a path of doing something to help my people. I noticed that what I was doing wasn't really helping my people. I was profiting off of the lack of information that these people have. I no longer want to live other people's ignorance. I want to be able to help people. I feel like the easiest way to get what I want is by helping other people get what they want. I don't believe that capitalism has to be unrighteous. I don't believe that capitalism has to be at the detriment of those who need. I think we can actually get what we want. There's so much out here. There's so much abundance that I can actually just help you. In exchange, if you feel that this was valuable, I'll get what I need to move forward. So I walked away from the largest salary I've ever garnished in the corporate America. I've been doing this type of work. So let's back up a little bit. When I'm 32, I'll be 33 in September. And one of the things that I'm focused on right now is building a legacy. When I look back at my career, I spent 15 years in the finance industry, specifically with mortgages, helping people get a home, stay in their home, sell their home to avoid foreclosure, get caught up on their payments, uh, buy a new home and be able to collect the paperwork as a process on the origination side, on the default side, from collections all the way up to pre-foreclosure, leading into foreclosure. I've seen the whole gambit. But I've also seen individuals have a lack of information. When I think about when I'm reading the scriptures, it says, my people perish from their lack of knowledge. They perish from their lack of knowledge. I have knowledge, and I want to be able to give it to my people so that we don't just lose this wealth that we have. For some of us, owning a home will be the biggest asset of our life. Owning a home will be our biggest way, or our easiest way, for us to be able to transfer wealth from one generation to the next. We all talking about your generational wealth. We all talking about closing the wealth gap. We all talking about creating this wealth standard. But it's hard to create this new standard. It's hard to create generational wealth when you're in crisis, when you're behind on your mortgage payments, when you're in jeopardy of losing everything that you've been working for, when you just lost your job. COVID-19 hit, everyone's income changed, everyone's life changed. But guess what didn't change? You still owe that debt. Guess what didn't change? You still got those goals that you need to hit. Guess what didn't change? The way that your mindset is. That's what needs to change, but it didn't change. COVID changed everything but your mindset. COVID changed everything but your initiative to be able to break these curses. A lot of people started businesses in 2020, 2023. You right back to where you was in 2019. Why? Because the mindset didn't change. My mindset had to change. I can no longer keep helping support other people's businesses and corporations and dreams and not support my own with the same, if not more, energy, resources, time, sacrifice. So I formed the Silent Academy. I walked away from making the most money I've ever made in my life to starting from ground zero, building a business to be able to help families feel empowered and relieved to be able to navigate foreclosure. You falling behind on your payments, I want to help you get caught up on your payments. You want to get from under that debt. You don't really have a true plan to be able to get caught up, but you don't want a foreclosure hit. I can help you sell that home. No longer can we allow our people to suffer from lack of knowledge. So I think about, what can I do to be able to help with that? What can I do to be able to contribute to the mission, to be able to save our people? I can provide them with my knowledge. I can provide them with my experience. I can hold their hand and walk them through the processes that I'm aware of, so that we don't keep making these same blind decisions and then complain about them later. Because me personally, I'm tired of hearing complaints. I like solutions. I'm solution based. I don't want to talk about the problem. I don't want to point out the problem. I don't want to get around more people and validate who saw the problem, who understands the problem. I want to be around individuals who want to find the solution. And my way of providing a solution is being able to help our families be able to avoid foreclosure. That's where I'm going to start. We're also working on that mindset, because there's a mindset that goes into being able to protect your investments. There's a mindset being able to protect your sanity. There's a mindset that goes into being able to protect these relationships, being able to transform into the best version of yourself. There's a mindset that's attached to that. And we're not going to get that just by hoping for it and praying for it. We got to put some work in. We can get all charged up we want, listen to all the podcasts and lectures and speeches and sermons we want. If we don't put no action behind what we've heard and what we saw and what we learned, you will still be in the same position that you were in before. So I told myself, I'm no longer doing this. See, me, I've played around with entrepreneurship all my life. Since I was 13, 14, 15, I've been selling candy, selling CDs, selling my own music, selling beats, DJing, parking cars, whatever I can do, clothing lines, t-shirt brands, whatever I can do to be able to do for myself. I've been striving to do that since I was a child. There's no more striving. Now we just gonna do it. We going all in. We double down on ourselves now. We can't keep waiting on it, waiting on this miracle to happen. It's not gonna just happen. We gotta make it happen. We gotta make it happen. Man, I'm so filled up. I hope that this is being received. I hope this information being received because I'm all over the place right now. But I just wanted to be able to go live. I wanted to make sure that I showed up. I wanted to make sure that I delivered and I poured into you all because I feel like I've been holding back. I feel like I've been in hiding. You know, I haven't been telling my story. And that's one thing that I know is going to help more people, is just being able to tell this story. So I say all of this to say environment is important. It's okay to have visions and goals, but if you're not in an environment that is going to be conducive to that growth, they're going to die. We know that my 3 words that I stick with is think, learn, grow. If you're thinking, you can find an opportunity to learn. If you're learning, you're creating an opportunity to grow. And anything that's not growing is dying. Your mindset could be dying because you're not growing it. Your perspective could be dying because you're not expanding it. Your positive thinking could be diminishing because you're not refilling it. You're allowing the negativity to dominate. Your health is deteriorating because we're not improving it. We're not working on it. It's not growing. So when I think about who I am and where I'm headed to, I have to continue to share my story. I want to make sure that I'm showing up every day and delivering some information to someone out there to let them know this. Don't give up. There's always something to be worked on. Follow your vision, follow your heart, but be smart about it at the same time. Take some real action, set a plan so that you can execute. And that's really what I wanted to center all of this on, is execution. See, when I started, so I used to work for Virginia Housing, which is they're a company, an authority in the state that I live in, Virginia, that helps families, majority first-time home buyers, be able to get certified and understand the process and be able to get their first home, which is all fine and dandy. But when people fall behind on their payments, I don't see the same enthusiasm as I see with the realtors and the loan officers and everyone else when it comes to buying a home. I don't see that same enthusiasm when it's time to educate our people, when it's time to save that home, when it's time to educate people on how to exit their home properly to avoid foreclosure and unnecessary fees and hassle. I don't see that same enthusiasm. So I wanted to be the difference. So we have to execute. That was the vision. The vision was, I got to be the difference. I'm seeing people making decisions and they're not fully equipped to the decision. Every job that I've worked on, I've gone over and beyond to be able to explain concepts to individuals that they should have been made aware of, but they weren't, because a lot of people come for the check. A lot of realtors want their commission. A lot of loan officers want their commission. A lot of processors want their bonus. Everybody wants what they want, but the homeowner wants what they want, but what they need is the education. What they need is the awareness of how the process works. What they need is the resources so that when things happen that they weren't expecting, they're not stuck with no one to call. Because that's what I see. What I see is individuals so happy to buy a home, and then they bought their dream home, and then that dream home turns into a nightmare, and they no longer are comfortable with the process. Now they have a resentment towards their realtor. Now they have a resentment towards the banking system and finances. Now they have a resentment towards money. They have resentment towards their spouse. They have resentment towards their family. They have resentment towards everything because of their lack of knowledge. And because of their lack of knowledge, they make decisions that they're not informed on. And these decisions can cause permanent detriment to their life. I made a post on Twitter. I say one financial hardship can change your entire family dynamic. You know what one of the leading causes of divorce is? Finances. You want to know what one of the leading causes of people facing foreclosure and why they lose their home? Lack of information. You want to know what's the leading cause of individuals falling behind on their payments? They don't communicate with their lender. Many people don't know that if you just engage the conversation, that there's options out there to help you. I refer back to my post I make, but I had to debunk the myth. The bank doesn't want your house. The bank doesn't want your house. They want your money. The bank wants your interest. The bank wants the fees. The bank wants your money. They don't want the house. They can't do nothing with the house. It costs, as you know, as a homeowner, it costs to maintain a home. So you think that the maintenance stops after you no longer have the house? The bank got to take on that maintenance. They don't want to pay that. They don't want to pay to preserve that house. They don't want to pay to print letters and send them to you. They don't want to make new keys. They don't want to pay contractors to fix things that you as a homeowner should be able to fix because you in your home. No, they don't want to do that. They want your money. The goal of a bank is to make money. They lent you money. They didn't lend you a house. They gave you money with the goal that you're going to pay them back plus interest, plus fees. Not give me the house back. I don't want the house. The bank didn't buy the house. You wanted the house. You just needed the bank to get the money so you can get the house. They don't want the house. They want the money. So then you want to know why you feel so intimidated when they asking for the money when you falling behind. It's because they don't want your house. If that was the case, they would be coming to your house to get the keys. They ain't coming to. First thing they doing is calling you with the money. Well, how can we bring this loan current? What can we do to help you get current? Because we'd rather you pay monthly than not pay at all. We'd rather you pay something than to be stuck with us having to pay for the maintenance of this house. So I want to be the difference. I want to make sure that we clear the air. We understand what it is that we're getting into. There's so many options for homeowners to be able to stay in their home if that's their goal. There's options for individuals to be able to exit their home if they're wishing to get from under that debt, especially if you're like underwater or your value has dropped. You owe more than your home is worth. You had a life-changing situation, death in the family, divorce, medical expenses, unforeseen circumstances. A lot of things happen, but then people don't know what to do, so they just give up. I don't think that we should give up. I think we should explore all of our options. So that's what I want to do. That's why I founded the Silent Academy. Our goal is to provide consultations to homeowners facing foreclosure to help them develop a plan to get caught up on their payments or sell their property and feel empowered and relieved by educating them throughout the entire process. Not just educating them on what we need them to sign so that we can get our bonus. Not educating them on what we need them to sign so that we can get this through to get this incentive from this government agency. Not giving them enough information for them to commit to something to avoid foreclosure or avoid the forfeiture of the home, but so that they can keep paying interest. No, we're gonna provide the real education. We're gonna provide real information. We're gonna provide real resources so that we can get to the next level, so we can get out of debt and we can move up into wealth and prosperity, out of survival and into abundance. That's where we need to go. How long are we going to keep just getting by? How long are we just going to settle with just enough? How long are we going to settle with feeling good and just dealing with feeling good and temporary moments of feeling good and actually be good? Actually set our family up to stay good. Actually set our children up to be good forever. When are we going to get to that point? We all talk about generational wealth. We all talk about how we can improve or increase our net worth. But those type of conversations fall on deaf ears when you're behind on your payment. Everyone's got information. Everybody is trying to tell people what to do in the stock market, what to do with the crypto, what to do with buying real estate. But what about the people that actually own real estate and about to lose it? Who's talking to them? Me. I'll do it. No longer can I sit around and wait. We don't get any benefit from just complaining about what people aren't doing. We get a benefit from focusing on what we are doing. We get a benefit from actually accomplishing what we set out to do. That's how we get a benefit. Man, so much I want to talk on, man. So much I want to speak on. Because at the end of the day, a lot of us are being led astray. A lot of us are being influenced, not inspired. They had a whole episode on this, on the difference between influence and inspiration. People can influence you just with their words. That don't mean that's how they living. You get inspired by the way that they living. You get inspired by their actions, not just the things that they say that sound good, not just them regurgitating what they read out of a book. It's how they live their life, how they apply that information that they read. That's what gives you inspiration. That's what takes you to the next level. That's the important part of watching the podcast or looking at the interview or reading the book, is to see what actions were taken and then being able to take those actions and replicate those in your life, not just the good words. Not just the conviction in the voice. You want to tap in all the way. You want to tap in all the way. Let's see, what did they do? Not what they said they did. What did they do? So, like I said, I founded the Silent Academy. Our goal is to be able to help families facing foreclosure be able to develop a plan to get current on their payments or help them sell their property, feeling empowered and relieved throughout the entire process by getting the education that is needed or necessary to be able to make an informed decision. Make an informed decision. A lot of the decisions that we make today are emotional, impulse buys, impulse decisions, irrational thought. Because we're bombarded with distractions. We're bombarded with temptations. We're bombarded with information that's not truly beneficial to ourselves. The information that we need isn't presented to us in a overt fashion. You got to dig for it. Everything that you really need is actually take some struggle to get to it. So for me, I got 2,800 prospects I got to call on. Are we trying to make money, or are we trying to save families' homes from foreclosure? That's what I have to ask myself every day. What's the purpose? Well, why are we doing it? What's the motive? What's the intention? What's the reason behind it? What's the why? Why are we calling? Why do we need to call these 2,800 people? Because it might be one family that don't know what to do and is one decision away, one conversation away from being able to either save their home or lose their home. And I could be the difference. That's the way I have to live. That's the way I have to wake up every day and think. I'm having this conversation with y'all, but this is really a conversation with me, for me as well, because we all need to be reminded of what the reason is. What's the motive? Why did you even start down this path? Why are you becoming who you becoming? Why does it matter so much? I tell you why. Because no one else gonna do it. That's why I do it. I do it because no one else is gonna do it. I do it because if I don't do it, so many people will fall victim to the lack of information. So many people will fall victim to the status quo. So many people will be affected from my lack of movement. So I have to act. I gotta execute. But this is why environments are important. See, I wouldn't be in this position if I didn't take myself out of the low vibrational environments that I was in and put myself in high vibrational environments. I wouldn't be in the position right now where I'm clear about what it is that my business is going to do if I didn't get a business coach, if I didn't sign up for business coaching. I wouldn't be so comfortable with myself and being able to share my story if I wouldn't put myself in a position to be on a call every morning where we speak about spiritual things. We talk about execution. We talk about mindset. But we also have like-minded individuals that are sharing their stories as well, which helps remind me that I'm not by myself. I'm not the only one working on themselves. I'm not the only one that's hard on themselves. I'm not the only one that's focused on the wrong things and need to be focused on the right things. I'm not the only one that's been trying to be perfect. I'm not the only one that's afraid to mess up. I'm not the only one that's overly ambitious. I'm not the only one that's not as organized as I should be. These type of environments help you. If you're in an environment that's not helping you or making you feel uncomfortable, that's not the right environment for you. If you showing up in an environment and you feel like, you know what, I can show up whenever I want to, show up however I want to, I can do whatever I want to, that's not an environment that you're going to grow in. That's an environment that you're going to die in. That's an environment that's going to kill your ambition. That's an environment that's going to kill your dreams. That's an environment that's not going to help you grow, but it's going to help you fall further into depression, fall further into regret, fall further into resentment. And that, I mean, if that's your goal, go be my guest. But for me and for those who are like me, you want to put yourself in environments that's for the growth of yourself, for the improvement of yourself, tapping in before you tap out. So I'm on the power call every morning with Brother Ben X. Make sure you tap in with that. If you want to get in on that, make sure you text Brother Ben X at 833-276-7174. Text the word nation to Brother Ben X and get on the power call every morning. Also join the Telegram as well. Our goal is to be able to have 100 people on the Zoom call live, studying, sharing their experiences, sharing their thoughts on what we speak about. We listen to everybody from T.D. Jakes to Eric Thomas to Minister Louis Farrakhan. We reading books. We read Matches to the Black Man, Closing the Gap, Mindset. We really are dialing in, and it's a way for you to be able to not feel like you have to pull this inspiration up on your own. So for me, it helps me because it is a reason for me to get up early in the morning. It's a reason to have something positive on my mind to start the day, get inspired, get refueled, because the world is going to pull from you. The world going to drain you. The world going to take your energy. But the question is, what are you putting in place? What mechanisms are you putting in place to be able to help increase or be able to refuel or refill your cup? So that's what that does. I'm in the Digital Real Estate Tribe. Make sure y'all tap in. If you want to join the tribe, if you need coaching, you're trying to start a business, you have a business and you need to grow your business, you have an established business, you want to scale the business. If you have a in-person business, you want to take it online, you want to increase your social media presence, you want to become a content creator, tap in with the tribe. Text me the word tribe to 804-221-6226. Text me the word tribe to 804-221-6226. You feel me? Let's see here. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Already know the vibes. I ain't have that up there. Let me make sure I have that up there. Yeah. And yes, that's my real number, 804-221-6226. If you need help with your mindset, if you're a homeowner and you're trying to avoid foreclosure, you can call me or text me. I would prefer that you text me first so that we can set up a time, but whatever it may be, if you need to reach out. Feel free to reach out, because my goal is to be able to help as many homeowners as possible avoid foreclosure. Okay? So we got that out the way. But yes, you feel me? It's just so great. I appreciate y'all. I feel like I got a lot off my chest. We're gonna be doing this every day. That's really the goal. That's really the reason behind all of this, is to be able to share this story with you all. But just understand, the Silent Academy exists. If you a homeowner, or if you know a homeowner that's falling behind on their payments or facing foreclosure, send them this way. I am Mr. West. That's IM.MRWES on Instagram. IM_Mr. West on Twitter. Go to thesilentstore.com. You'll see it at the bottom of the video. Thesilentstore.com. That's where you can get my ebook, The 3 Ps, The Keys to Having Better Days. It's only $8.88. As of right now, the price may go up. We never know. But tap in before you tap out. Shout out to you all for tapping in on Instagram. It's been great. But just know, every day we're gonna try to go live every day. Tap into the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube. I am Mr. West on YouTube. Facebook, you can find me on Facebook as well. That's Wesley Mosley on Facebook. But yes, thesilentstore.com. That's where you can get my ebook. And you also, if you're a homeowner, you can book a consultation so that we can be able to develop a plan to help you get caught up on your payments. Also be able to help you navigate the selling of your property if you're looking to get from under your debt to avoid foreclosure as well. So just tap in before you tap out. Like I said, you have my number, 804-221-6226. I appreciate y'all for tapping in. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.